Hi, Steve here. Okay, what we've often found is when we do the softwares and that, people want a bit of a guide on how to use the softwares and what's the best way to use them. And with our Greco strategy, there's two methods, method one and method two, which we have found in the short time that the software has been made for the UK and Irish markets that are generating a reasonable amount of bets to keep people happy, and also looking at the concept of what El Greco was formed for, which was to look for overlays. And with these two methods for the UK and Irish racing, we're finding some good overlays. In fact, we're averaging over 10 £10 a winner on one and £11 on the other one. So it's giving us what El Greco set out for. It's giving us the higher price winners and at a reasonably consistent level. So let's just go through them. There are two methods that we recommend that you can start off with until you find your feet and start experimenting. Let's look at them now with method one, and you'll notice between method one and method two there's basically only one rule change. So as you're doing it, it becomes very easy. So in method one, the El Greco rating should be greater or equal to 58. So we're only looking at horses 58 and upwards. The Betfair price should be greater than the El Greco price, and I'll show you some examples, by 5 at least. What that means is if the El Greco price is 1.5, then the Betfair price for it to be a method 1 selection would have to be 6.5. Okay, we're not worried about commissions or anything, just if the El Greco price is 1.5 and the Betfair price is 6.5, then it would be a selection if it meets the other rules. The qualifying selection has to be the top rated and the second top rated, and as a valued bet. Now, what is a valued bet? We call a value bet is classed as where the El Greco price is lower than the Betfair price. So the Betfair price is higher than the El Greco price. If that is happening, then that's a value bet. If it's not happening and it's the top rated or the second top rated, then it's not classed as a value bet, and we treat that just a little bit different in that we will bypass. Say if the top horse was rated at 60, its El Greco price was 3.5 and the Betfair price was say 3, lower than the El Greco price, then we would move down to the second. Because that's not a value bet, we move to the second horse that might be at 59, and then we look at that. If the El Greco price is lower than the Betfair price, then that could be a qualifying one, and we move down to the next one. But there's an example I can show you how that works. And the runners, there must be 9 or less runners in a race for it to be a method 1. On method 2, the rules are very similar. As I said, the El Greco rating has got to be 58 or higher. The Betfair price has to be higher than the El Greco price by 5 points. The qualified selection has to be the top rated value bet. So that's the differences in method 1. We're not going to the second rated horse, we're only doing the top rated horse. And the runners, there must be 9 or less in the race. Okay, so the best thing to do now with the method 1 and method 2 is let's go to the software and do a few races, and I'll show you how quickly it is to find the races to bet on. Okay, the very first thing you should look at, obviously, for method 1 and method 2 is to see how many runners. We see there's 7 runners here, okay, so that we know it's qualifying because it's 9 or less runners. If we look at the first top horse rated at 61, it's showing 1.5 in the El Greco, and the Betfair price is 3.9. So that would have to be 6.5 for it to be a selection. So it's not a selection, so we can just move on to the next race. Okay, we see there's 11 runners in this race, so we don't need to go any further. it's not a race for us. Okay, we have 9 runners here, so it's a qualifying race as far as runners go. We look at the first horse there, Mystical. El Greco price is 1.8. So this here to be 5 needs to be a 6.8 for it to be a selection, so it's not a selection. We move on to the second. It's a value bet because the El Greco price is lower than the Betfair price, but because the Betfair price is not 5 points higher, we don't bet on that, but that's still a value bet, so we still can go to the second one. So if on method 2, we're only looking at the top rated, so we would not move to the next one, but on method 1, we're looking at the top and the second top rated. We can see here, this horse here is rated above 58, so it's qualifying that way. It's showing 3.5 in El Greco, and the Betfair price is 10, so you can see that's 5 points more. So we would have a bet in the air 230 race. We would have this would be our bet here. Okay, this horse actually was run unplaced. That race has only happened a little while ago. We move on down, so you can see how quick it is to find the selections. Okay, if we look here on the next one, we see there's 10 runners, so it's a no bet for us. Next one. We see 11 runners, so once again, not for us. Nine runners in this one. Let's have a look here. Okay, the first top rated is 2.63. You can see the Betfair price is 15, so that's a bet for us in method 1 and method 2. In method 1, we go to the second rated horse, and we can see that it's El Greco price is 4, and its Betfair price is 8.8. Now this is still a while to go, so you may want to just write that down, at this race, and see if the price goes out. If it goes out another 20 pence, then it would be a selection for you. Okay, moving on down. We see there's 14 runners, so it's not a bet for us. And then the last race, 12 runners, so once again, not a bet for us. And we move on. I want to move on down to Limerick because I want to show you the case of where the value bets go. If we go to this race here, okay, we see here 8 runners, so it's a qualifying race. We see here the El Greco price is 4.5 and the Betfair price is 4.7. So while the El Greco price is lower than Betfair, it's classed as a value bet, but we're not betting it because that is not 5 points higher. That would have to be 9.5 for us to have a bet. But that's the first value bet, and if you're betting just method 2, the top rated one, we would not go any further in that race because that's the top value. That's the top rated bet. It's a value bet, but it doesn't qualify for being high enough. The next horse, the second qualifying horse, you can see is 5.5 in El Greco, but only 3.15. So that is not a value bet, and that means we can go to the next horse down here, which is still over our 58 points. It's 5.5 and it's 13 on Betfair. So that would be our bet for method 1. We would only have, that would be our only bet in method 1 because it's a valued bet and it is higher. It is higher than the 5 points. So that would need to be 10.5 on Betfair or higher, and it's 13. So that is a bet for us. And we can go to this one because this horse here is not classed as a value bet because its El Greco price is higher than Betfair, and so that allows us to drop down to the next horse. Okay, if you read the manual a couple of times, it's explained quite quite comprehensively. But that is, and if we just carry on down for a sec, just to show you some more, 20 runners, so you wouldn't do it. 6 runners, we can see the top rated there. El Greco is 3, Betfair is 6. So it's a valued bet, but it's not 5 points higher. And 3.3 to 6.6, once again, a valued bet, but not a bettable one because it's not. It would need to be 8.3. Move on down. 14 runners, so we wouldn't bet there. Next one is 8 runners. We can see it 1.65, 1.67, so it's a value bet. It's El Greco is lower than Betfair, but Betfair is not 5 points higher than El Greco. And the second one here, 3.25, it's above 58. 3.25, it's at 10, which is 5 points above our El Greco price. So that would be our bet in method 1. Okay. So that is how the El Greco method 1 and method 2 work. You can see below on the graph the returns that we've been getting from that. So very quick to go through a whole race day and get your selections, write them down. A couple would be close calls. All of our results below for method 1 and method 2 is the price with 10 seconds before the off. So it gives you an idea, and we'll keep that constant as we record the results for method 1 and method 2 on the El Greco ratings. On behalf of Michael and myself, Steve, thanks for watching method 1 and method 2 on El Greco ratings. Thank you.